Welcome back. Episode 7. We almost 10 shows deep, man.
So almost there.
We back at it. Across the bridge. Keezy, Jahmal Rashad.
Yo,
Got a lot to cover today. But first, just want to bring back the Across the Bridge segment. So again, just taking an opportunity to connect people from where we're at today and just introducing y'all to opportunities into the future. So this is actually with the hometown. I want to connect y'all to RJ Cyler. Have you heard of RJ Cyler?
mm-mm.
You've probably seen him in a movie. So he's best known. His first start was kind of in a movie called Me, Earl, and a Dying Girl. Have you seen that?
Mm-mm. But now I'm looking at him, bro. That this bro who played in
The Harder They Fall.
that was he did his thing in that movie too.
Yeah,
He from
that
here?
movie was hard.
He from here?
He from Jacksonville.
Well, I know Kool played Bobby Brown from here, but I know he from here. That's what's up.
And yeah, he actually was in that movie too. He got shot by
Yeah,
RJ.
yeah. He did his thing.
And the last movie most recently was The Book of Clarence.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, you seen that?
Yeah, I seen it.
Pretty
Cause
good
I
movie.
like Lakeith. Is that
Yeah,
his
he
name?
cool. He was in that. You talking about Lakeith shot him in the Harder They Fall.
Uh
Lakeith
yeah,
shot him in the Harder They Fall.
yeah. So yeah, I want to take y'all across the bridge with the hometown and
Yeah,
introduce
I ain't know that.
RJ Cyler.
Word.
So yeah, he was raised in Jacksonville. Actually went to Inglewood. So
Inglewood, oh, no good. Okay.
yeah, and yeah, that's right on par with him, right? Like he used to get in trouble because he used to talk about how he would have all these different characters in his head, and when he get done with his work, he talking and doing whatever. So
That's
um,
crazy.
from a young age, he always was interested in being creative, and his first start really happened from this event called the Celebrity Experience. I never heard of it, but is where they bring Hollywood to you. So essentially, they came to the Prime Osborne, which is downtown Jacksonville Convention Center,
Mm-hmm.
and he heard it on the radio, and he asked his dad. He was like, "Yo, can I go to this?" And his dad was like, "Man, we ain't got no money, man." So no. But he asked his mom. So you ask one parent, and you ask the next parent. And you ask the mom gonna hold it down. So she asked the dad, persuaded him, and that actually kicked it off to where his senior year they moved out to California, homeless, and he was auditioning and everything, and ended up getting that first role. So from there, he just kept
Crazy.
taking it to the next level. And what I'm interested in now is now that I'm aware that he's from Jacksonville, I'm keeping tabs on him because he's talking about bringing a production studio back to Jax. Like that's in his vision because he understands like we're overlooked. And again, that's the whole concept of the show, right? Like it's sports, it's life, it's us just having conversations, but it's really about bridging that gap between the world and Jacksonville and the talent that's here, the opportunities that we kind of get passed over for, and just shedding a light. So I look forward to see what he can continue to do, and to be able to open up a studio in Jacksonville and really shed light on the talent there. I think that'll be big. So shout out to RJ, shout out to Jacksonville, and just want to take y'all across the bridge before we kick off the show. So
That's big, man, because it does seem like the younger generation uh is actually putting the city on the map for real. Like this bro right here, I had no idea he was from here, and he did his thing in the Book of Clarence, and then he did his thing for real, for real. And then bro, who played Bobby Brown, I don't remember his name, but
yeah,
I think he was the Lee. And then even the rappers finally getting on from the city, for better or for worse. You got singers getting on. So it's good to finally see Jacksonville get on the map. You got Lil Duval after all his
beyond the athlete, right?
right. After all his years, Lil Duval been going hard for long. He got Duval Davis coming a phenomenon, you know what I'm saying, in the city and in the South. And they're doing their thing, man. People coming to the city, so I'm waiting on nine to Jaguars, man. Hopefully they'll get it together and they can take us across the bridge for real, but who knows?
That's coming. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about that in a little bit, but
We'll see.
Now you spot on, man, and I'm excited. And hopefully we can play a huge role in that, right? Whether it's bringing on guests or again just taking people across the bridge and shedding light, bringing the globe into our city. So
No.
again, shout out to RJ. Y'all should check him out. Check out those
Right,
movies if you
RJ.
haven't. And I look forward to what happens in the future. So
Don't be scared about Book Clarence, y'all. Watch Book Clarence. That was a pretty decent movie, man. Watch
yeah.
that.
So NBA is picking up. It kicked off really with that big trade. We had Luka Doncic from the Mavs traded to the Lakers for Anthony Davis. I'm not going to put you on blast, but that little prophecy or expertise or whatever you was talking about a couple of weeks ago with your luck with the Super Bowl, it ran out that quickly, right?
How? Tell me how.
So we talked about the trade, and you talked about who won the trade now, short term, and then long term, which made no sense to me.
Okay.
Can you remind the audience of who you said won the trade short term?
I said short term, the winners of the trade was the Dallas Mavericks. No matter what's happening now, the Dallas Mavericks are still in the play-in. They're 4 games behind the Lakers.
Oh man,
5 behind the Lakers. The Lakers, unfortunately, AD got hurt. So
unfortunately, okay,
he got hurt. Yeah. So I said the Lakers won in the long term, and that's a big if. Even that's contingent upon Luka Doncic re-signing. If he doesn't re-sign with the Lakers, that was a terrible trade for the Lakers at the end of the day. If he does, but if he resigns, that's a good trade. And I don't know if the Lakers don't win a championship this year, then there's no way they won this trade now at all. I still think if they meet in the playoffs, I got Dallas. I put money with you on Dallas over the Lakers once he gets back. So they just maintaining right now. They just maintaining right now without the piece, I will say the injury just blew things up. Like that was crazy. Huh? You said what?
Go ahead.
Oh no, I thought you went mute. But yeah, the trade blew things up. I can't lie, man. The Lakers do look good. I want to against them. That win against Denver was a good win. They play Minnesota tonight. I'm pretty sure they'll win that game, but do I think they'll beat Denver in the series? No. OKC in the series? No. Dallas in the series? No. Golden State? No. I don't see them beat any of those teams. The regular season is always. So yeah, that's what I gotta say about that. What do you gotta say? Is LeBron finna win number 5 and get number 20, 22, 23?
Yeah, what you mean?
Sure he is. Sure he is.
So
sure he is.
Again, you just sound crazy, but I mean that's expected, right? So somehow it comes out of your mouth and other people's mouth that the Lakers didn't win the trade short term, but somehow they'll win it long term. But then you say if he resigns and all this other stuff. So let me tell you how they won it short term and long term.
Tell me.
Anthony Davis, right? They bamboozled the Dallas Mavericks. The man played what, 2 quarters, 2 quarters and a half, right? What is that, a dozen for you? I know you always talk about it. What's a dozen? So the man played 2 dozen quarters, right?
2 dozen. No, he didn't play 2 dozen quarters.
Yeah. So
2 dozen minutes.
Anthony Davis didn't even make it through the first game he played. And that was my whole thing, man. Like I can't rely on Anthony Davis, right? Like when he played with the Lakers, I always used to be afraid when he fell because I just wasn't sure if he was going to get up. I think he's a tremendous talent. Absolutely, right? He can score at the best of them. He's a defensive all-star, right? Defensive player of the year, top defender in the league. But the man can't stay healthy. And if you even watch the game where he got injured, he didn't even touch anyone. He was just running towards the hoop and fell down, or is growing, whatever it is, man. So that was the whole thing for me and why the Lakers automatically won. It's just being able to get rid of Anthony Davis, but in return, you get back a 25-year-old icon, right? Luka Doncic, a global phenomenon, somebody who can put up 30 in his sleep, somebody who just led the Dallas Mavericks, who no one would have expected to go to the finals last year, led them to the finals, and now you pair him with LeBron James. So to me, that was an easy W for the Lakers. But let's talk about what's actually happened since he's been there.
Okay.
They've been one of the top defensive teams prior to him getting there, and they've been maintaining that. They beat the Denver Nuggets by like 20, right? In Denver, showing A, the defensive prowess that they can display, showing B, how talented as a coach JJ Redick really is, because he
You
does
got to be
think the
kidding.
game.
You got to be
What was
kidding.
that?
I'm listening. You got to be kidding. Go ahead. I'm listening.
How well JJ Redick actually game plans and has a vision for how to attack defensively and create offensively, and just has that mindset, the same mindset that he played with at Duke, in Orlando, with the Clippers, with New Orleans, with Philadelphia. Like, the dude is a madman when it comes to the game of basketball. He did the
He is.
podcast with LeBron, and I think his brilliance is really starting to showcase itself when you think about how the Lakers are playing compared to previous years. So to add Luka Doncic to that squad is crazy. LeBron, being the greatest player on earth, to be 40, playing like he's 30 is scary. He's only warming up. And again, now he can play that receiver position to where he can leak out on fast breaks, get in transition, and not actually be the one controlling the point. You got somebody like Luka who could throw a 30-foot, 40-foot pass in the pocket, and now you got an explosive player who's unstoppable. So when I think about what the Lakers really have right now, it's +1 by getting rid of Anthony Davis, who again hasn't even played a full game for the Dallas Mavericks.
So explain to me the greatness and the prowess of JJ Redick and the loss to the Utah Jazz.
What do you mean?
They lost to the Utah Jazz. You talking about you only seem to want to speak about the good thing. They beat the Nuggets, but they lost to the Jazz. What about that?
What do you
What was
mean?
his greatness then? What do you mean? They lost to the Jazz. What was his greatness when they got blew out by the Jazz?
So you telling me no coach has been blown out by a terrible
Okay,
team?
cool. You don't want to speak about that. Where was the
No,
greatness in the
I'm
Nets
asking.
game?
I'm
No,
asking
where
you
was
a
the greatness in the
question.
Nets
I just want to
game?
make sure I understand what you're saying.
Because you're saying he's so great and everything looks so honky dory because they beat the Denver Nuggets finally, but they also
No,
lost
that's
to.
not what I said.
Hold on. Well, I'm saying in a nutshell, you're talking
No, I
about
ain't no
all
in a
stuff
nutshell.
about. Okay, so what are you saying?
I'm saying if you look at the season from game 1 to today,
Mm-hmm.
they progressed and they're in the 5th seed, right? In position to get us close to seed number 2. You have somebody who's been able to develop a team that's been ranked number 1 offensively and defensively over the past 2 months. And they're positioned themselves for a year-end run with LeBron tied to Luka Doncic, and they got rid of Anthony Davis, right? Somebody who you couldn't rely on, who could be injured at any point, and you replaced him with Luka Doncic, who can score 25 and 30 in a night, who can control the point, who can throw the outlet pass, who can help you beat a Denver Nuggets team where you needed somebody who can dominate on the
Oh, so
offensive
what? So
position.
what can't he do?
What can't who do?
Luka Doncic do.
What do you mean? What can't he do?
What I mean, he doesn't play defense.
No, he plays defense.
No.
He's not a great
He
defender.
he doesn't. He does. No, this is what I'm saying. It's not even a debate. He does not play defense. This is widely known, widely seen. If you watch the game of
I
basketball,
watched the game.
he does not play defense at all.
He
So
plays
what I'm asking
defense.
you is, they beat Denver, right? Good win. They lost to Charlotte. You just not speaking about it. They lost to one of the worst in the league in Charlotte. They lost to Utah, right? They beat Portland. They beat Dallas without AD, which was a back and forth game. They beat them, which was a great win from them. But I find it funny how the LeBron fans, it's all everything is great and optimistic, and then when the playoffs come and they lose, then you like, oh well, he's 40, the same way you did last year. So
He wasn't 40 last year.
Huh?
He wasn't 40
You
last
say
year.
he was 39, whatever. He was 39, he's in year 20. What I'm trying to sit and say is, when it comes down to it in the playoffs, when everything counts and everything matters, the Lakers, if they run into the Denver Nuggets, nothing's going to change. They're going to be bounced in the first round. Okay. They better hope they play Houston or Memphis or somebody like that. But they run into Denver, they run into OKC, they run into Golden State. They're going to get sent home in the first round. It's all about matchup still, and they don't match up well defensively with any of these guys. it just amazes me how you gonna sit here and just gloss over the fact that they lost to two of the worst teams in the league in this little run, and you only want to speak about Dallas. I mean,
Okay.
you only want to speak about them.
Okay. So yeah, like I was saying, JJ Redick, Luka Doncic, LeBron James, I would watch out for them. They won this trade short term, clearly. Anthony Davis hasn't even touched the court for a whole game. And people are saying we should expect the Dallas Mavericks to be a contender while AD is injured, but then we have Luka and LeBron and it's we shouldn't expect anything. So I understand. I get it. Y'all can have it. But let's watch and see when the playoffs get here. We'll circle back around. We'll see what it is. So but ultimately the Lakers win the trade short term, long term. It is what it is.
So if they don't sign Luka Doncic, do they still win the trade long term?
Yeah.
How? How does that make sense?
What do you mean? How does it make sense?
If Luka Doncic does not re-sign with the Lakers, how do they win the trade long term?
Because they won the championship.
So you're gonna win championship this year?
Yeah.
Okay. We gotta put that on record and bet something.
It's on record.
We gotta bet something on it though. We gotta put money.
Yeah. That's fine with me. So who you got? Dallas or the Lakers going?
I got the feel.
Huh?
I got the feel.
You got the feel.
Yeah, you say win championship, right?
Well, who you got winning the championship?
The Celtics.
Okay, yeah, I'll do that.
You do what?
The Celtics versus the Lakers.
So they don't make it, then it's no bet.
Huh?
So they don't make it, and it's no bet.
You're saying the Celtics will win.
I'm saying they're gonna beat the Lakers. I'm saying win the championship. But I'm trying to say is this: you saying the Lakers win the championship. I'm sitting there saying I bet you that they won't win the championship. It don't matter who I pick because you said they're gonna win the championship.
Let's circle back to championship.
Let's circle back.
Yeah. So anyway,
man,
let's move on.
This fandom is ridiculous.
Let's move, and your hate is ridiculous. Let's move on to the NFL right quick. So I know you don't like the home team, but we're gonna talk about how the Jaguars are dominating the offseason.
Let's talk about it.
So again, the Jaguars came into this year expected to be the best team ever, according to the owner. It didn't turn out that way. Fast forward, we're at the off season. We get rid of our coach. We get rid of our GM. And now we bring in a new everything, right? New GM, new coaches, new players coming in. So I want to ask you, have the Jaguars done enough to turn the corner this offseason? What should the fans expect in 2025?
Now, about turn the corner, let me have a great understanding of exactly what do you mean by turn the corner. Because how many games did the Jaguars win last year?
4.
So by turn the corner, do you mean they can possibly win 5 games?
By turn the corner, I mean they are now be a contending AFC team. By turn the corner, I mean win the division and make the playoffs.
Hell no. Why? What have they done behind hire a bunch of people to be coaches? What have they done? You hire a bunch of first-year guys, a first-year head coach, and a quarterback who on his last leg. And what have you added to the team? You have not done anything. You have not done anything to that team but add a bunch of front office people. What is this? James Gladstone, 34 years old. Grant Udinski, 29 years old. Anthony Campanelle, 42, and Liam Cummins, a bunch of young people. I'm not cheering for this at all. This don't look right. I mean, it looks very Jacksonville. This fits what Jacksonville would want to be the head, the leadership of their team with all this, the profile of this. There's no way I'm rooting for this. There's no way I think anything good's going to happen for it. Y'all look like drunks to me. I feel like they might win 4 to 5 games, 4 to 6 games again this year. I'm in a couple of group chats where Jaguar fans are betting that they'll outperform the Saints and win 6 games. So most of the fans have a clear mind of what's going to happen here. This is not going to be a winning season. They're not going to the playoffs unless something magnificent happens in free agency. But as of right now, just by hiring staff, this is how low the bar is set for Jaguar fans. We're talking about because we hired staff members and none with any experience as head coaches or any position they in that they're somehow going to become a playoff team. I think not.
So you're wrong again.
Okay.
And I'll educate you.
All right.
So are you aware of the importance of leadership?
Of course.
Okay. So you are aware the impact that leadership can have on everything. Right. So you said this looks like something the Jaguars would do. And this is why I'm actually excited, because it looks like something they would not do. So when we think about the history of the Jaguars, we have the Tom Coughlins, right? So people who are 50, 60 plus years old. You have Doug Peterson, who just came in, right? You have the Urban Meyers, who came in, right? You have the Doug Marones, who came in. You have the GM. I don't even remember his name now. He pissed me off. Trent Baalke. Trent Baalke, right? Again, 60, 70 years old, however old. Didn't you not say you seen him in person and that you're like, dang, this dude old, look like he on his last leg?
Yeah, he was decrepit.
Right. So what I'm trying to say is that was the mindset and the culture and the leadership that's always been present in the Jaguars Foundation. So let's flip it. This year, we hire the second youngest GM in NFL history, James Gladstone. That's number one, right? So now you got the highest form of leadership as far as organizing and running the team, the second youngest in NFL history. You got a 39-year-old Liam Cohen coach, right? You know what they're talking about with this guy?
What?
The Jordans he wears.
So what? Skip Bayless wears Jordans.
Yeah, but Skip Bayless again is 70, 80 years old.
So
what I'm trying to say is,
when I see one.
What I'm trying to say is, in this young generation, they like the swag. That's what they do.
I see they ain't wearing no LeBrons.
Yeah, they like the Jordans, right? So you got Liam Cohen, who got the swag. He develops the quarterbacks.
Who did he develop?
Huh?
Who did he develop?
Weren't you the one telling me about Baker Mayfield?
Baker Mayfield was doing that before he got there, man. You talking about? Yeah, do your homework. He done it before he got there. Keep going.
So you telling me he didn't have career highs last season?
Baker Mayfield had a good year the previous year.
I'm asking you, did he have career highs last year?
I don't know if he had
career highs. Do your research. So we have a coach who knows how to develop quarterbacks. He played with the Matthew Staffords. He led the Kentucky Wildcats and helped develop their offense, right? So you have somebody who's younger, who understands the game of football and where it's going, and infusing that youth movement into the Jaguars Foundation. He follows suit with his offense and defensive coordinators. Again, youth movement, people who are tied to these individuals who are coming directly out of college and can relate to them, versus a Doug Marrone. As if you can see, they just came out with the organization ratings. So as far as like culture and improvements they want to make, and the Jaguars were second to last. And they even talked about how Doug Peterson wasn't somebody who could connect, wasn't somebody who listened, wasn't somebody who can help establish a culture. So that's something that's super important, right? Because that's not about players, that's about leadership. So being able to infuse this organization with the youth movement of leadership, I think is super important. And one of the biggest takeaways for me is, again, Tony Baselli, right? So you have somebody who loves this city. You have somebody who was the first pick ever for the Jaguars organization. You have somebody who was the first Hall of Famer to represent the Jacksonville Jaguars, who's now the president of player operations, right? So he's somebody who is infusing his mentality, his mindset, the way he plays football, the way the city operates into that organization. and they're all speaking the same language. And I think that's what's super important is that everybody's speaking the same language and moving in the same direction. Does that mean it's going to equate to the football field? Not necessarily, but I do believe it will because they have that mindset to now go and get the right players, to now put them in the best position and get the best out of them. And that will turn into some great opportunities on the field. And I think some big momentum as we move forward, given the chance that, they have time to grow and develop. So I'm looking forward to this season. I'm not gonna lie. With the change in leadership,
It's
it's
so
something
funny.
that's different, and I believe it'll be successful. So
It's so funny how now all of a sudden you want to hype up the youth. Because a few weeks ago on Super Bowl Sunday, you were saying that the Eagles' youth was going what was going to do them in on defense. You were saying they're the youngest defensive backfield in the league and all this stuff, and you criticized them for the youth and said that that's going to work against them. But now all of a sudden for the Jaguars, having a bunch of not only young people but first time people, everyone in their position is first time. So this is Liam's first time having to be the face of a franchise as far as the coaches go.
face of a franchise.
Yeah, face of a franchise. He has to go out and talk and do all stuff that he's never done before as offensive coordinator.
He's doing a great job.
He's doing a great job. Okay, but he can't even say Duval to correct. Right? And the whole city's against him all damn ready. And you're not you don't. This is ridiculous. So then you say James Gladstone, our first time executive vice president. Let me ask you. We play football.
No,
together.
he's a GM.
No, he's the executive. Yeah, you're right. First time general manager.
I know him, right?
The first time executive vice president. You said president. First time executive vice president. So let me ask. We both play football. If a freshman came in who we never heard of, never seen, and start trying to immediately take over and saying he's gonna lead the team somewhere, and we never seen him do anything, how much of we as seniors or juniors gonna look at him and be like, all right, bro, yeah, we rocking with you because you're wearing Jordans.
No. So I think that's unfair, right? Because you said never seen anything. James Gladstone has been in the NFL for 9 years. He's been with the Super Bowl winning team.
He's never been a general manager. He's never been a general manager. So a freshman quarterback, he was a quarterback in middle school somewhere. He's a quarterback in Part 1 or somewhere. You can hear about him and hear all kind of great things about him. I mean, he about to come in here and blow my socks off as a senior or as a junior because he never played football on high school level. It's the same thing. Like, no, I'm not believing in none of this. I'm not believing in any of this stuff. No. I'm pretty sure you can find nowhere in the history of football where a bunch of first-time guys have done anything successful. We don't even know we're going to find out draft day how they think, and we're going to see just how much on the same page they are with the fan base and all that stuff you're talking about. Because I'm pretty sure Tony Baselli is going to want them to go offensive line. Liam might want them to go damn receiver, and they should be going defense. So we're going to see all the stuff you're talking about. First-time coordinators. You got first-time defensive coordinators. First-time offensive coordinators. You got everything is a first time. And you one of the worst teams. You are probably arguably the worst franchise in the NFL right now. And you decide, hey, I'm going to go sign a bunch of first-year people and say, hey, take over this terrible franchise who has no structure, and we're going to let you all build it. We're going to see how that goes. I don't see it turning out well at all. There's no leadership. There's no veterans nowhere around this organization.
Yeah. So I actually think you're completely wrong. Obviously, right, they have NFL experience, right? So there's a lot of offensive coordinators that go into a head coaching position, right? And I'm sure you can find somebody who's been successful going into head coaching for their first year ever.
That's not hold on. Let's put what I said. You can't find anyone who went into a first-time head coach with a first-time GM, with a first-time vice president, with a first-time office coordinator. I guarantee you can't find that. Yeah, so that's a completeness of it. It's not just a first-time head coach. Everybody's on the first time. And on top of that, you got a franchise quarterback who the city is almost off the bandwagon on him, who getting paid top dollar. You got a defensive end who getting paid top dollar, right? Over there, who didn't show up last year. You got all type of stuff going on in this franchise that doesn't look good, and they taken two steps back since that incredible comeback against the Chargers. They have not made the playoffs what 2-3 years now, and you trying to tell me that all these first years is going to somehow, with all the holes on this team, is going to somehow you're optimistic.
Yeah, well, so what I'm saying is what you're describing, the experiences you're describing is based on the leadership that's been a GM before, that's been a head coach before, that's been an offensive coordinator before, that's been a defensive coordinator before, and it didn't work, right? You're saying these people who had experience didn't work. They ruined the Jaguars. They had a bad culture. They weren't producing. What do you mean? No,
That's not what I'm saying. I'm not speaking about the Jaguars. I'm talking about the history of the NFL. You have never seen this. That's what I'm talking. I'm not talking about. I'm talking about the history of the NFL. You've never seen first. That's what I'm speaking about.
Yeah, and I'm speaking about the Jaguars. I'm saying to you that we've seen what the past has been. We've seen what hasn't. We've seen what's been done over and over and over, and what is produced. We're finally doing something different, right? We're finally taking a new approach. And what that allows is collaboration. When you have people who haven't done anything, typically what they do is collaborate. When I think about myself in a career position, when I stepped into leadership, something I hadn't done before, what did I do? I collaborated. And I did it with somebody who hadn't done it either. And what did we do? We produced the best experience ever in Jacksonville when I was in Jacksonville at the time, right? So having that opportunity to bring a new vision, an opportunity to bring a youth movement, right? And also to be a Black young man when at the time that was new in itself, right? So all of these,
no one's Black. This thing here very white.
That's fine. I'm not talking about race. As far as the Jaguars, what I'm talking about is the newness and the freshness, and to understand where we're at in modern time and where we're going into the future. And that's what I'm hearing from them most importantly, right? I'm not hearing separate conversations or separate perspectives. I'm hearing a one unison, one collective speech, one collective step forward, one collective approach, one collective mindset. And that's what is separating from what I initially would look at this group and think to what I'm actually seeing, what I'm actually hearing, and now what we're experiencing. So as we go through the draft process, I'll continue to do my due diligence and listen to the story. But I think it's super important to realize what's actually being said from them versus just looking at the age and saying, hey, this has never been done before. It ain't going to work, versus realizing like, man, look what they're actually doing is completely different. That's shocking. And now what they're saying. And then again, just looking at the history, right? James Gladstone, do you know how he got to the NFL?
Nope.
So Les Snead, who is the GM for the Los Angeles Rams, who created that winning culture over there, right? Who stole Jalen Ramsey from the Jaguars and produced a championship, who stole Matthew Stafford from the Detroit Lions and produced a championship, who has a perennial playoff team, who had drafted players who are defensive players in the year, Hall of Famers, right? Who's drafting Hall of Fame, or who's acquiring Hall of Fame quarterbacks, who's drafting running backs and wide receivers that no one's ever heard of that are becoming the best running back, the best wide receivers in the league. So who was the assistant under that? James Gladstone. Where did he get him from? He picked him up as a first-year student who was coaching with his dad as a teacher. So James was going to school to become a teacher, was coaching with his dad. Les Snead's son played on that team, and he liked where he was going and said, hey, I need you to come work with me in the NFL. And that's how he got his start under Les Snead. And Les Snead just continued to groom him over and over and over the past 9 years, to where Les Snead is the one who said, hey, you need to go take the Jaguars job. So it was Les Snead, who is a GM, who is a fortified GM in this league, who produces a top roster, a Super Bowl winning team, who's cultivated this young man to say, hey, I believe this is the opportunity for you to go shine, and put him in position to acquire this opportunity when the opportunity came. So I think it's bigger than just the age. I think it's bigger than just, oh, he has the title for the first time. It's so much more than that if you really sit and listen to what they're saying and how they're moving right now throughout the organization. And I think it's going to shine through to the players and it'll produce on the field. So again, it's just talk right now, but I would just pay attention to how they're moving and what they're saying, and then look to see what if there's any changes on the field, which I believe they will produce on the field. And I'll take the over when it comes to 6 wins.
It's like Jim Crow to me. New Jim Crow. You go ahead. You go ahead.
Explain that for our audience, please.
Hey, I tell our audience to go look at the faces of the Jaguars franchise now. Go look at all these young faces, and if you know, you'll get what I mean.
Hey man, it's up for the Jaguars.
I'm talking about it's Casper the Friendly Ghost over there in Jacksonville, man. Go ahead.
Hey, I mean, if you look throughout the city, it is what it is. So align with the city. But I look forward to them dominating this year. I'll take the over the Broncos and the New Orleans Saints.
They're gonna dominate. That is ridiculous. Go ahead.
All right. So again, I mean, you're so big on leadership. I'll be shocked to see what you say about this. So Rick Pitino popped up on social media, right? You know, coach what is it? Coach of St. John's? Who is he coaching for now? I forget.
He coaches somebody. You know that much. He always coaching. He coaches something down with Rick Pitino, man. He everywhere. I ain't know you still coaching until you sent me that damn clip.
So I come across this clip where he basically calls out his team for being soft, for being a generation where he's like, I don't know who raised y'all, too sensitive. They can't handle pressure. They can't handle tough moments. They don't know how to bounce back and react. What was your thoughts on the clip? And do you think this type of leadership is necessary in sports today?
It's necessary in life, period, from men. Speaking to young men, I think the question is, will it be effective? And I'm not sure how effective it would be, just because of the generational divide and how far we have fallen as a society. I mean, it's already was bad, but now it's just even worse as far as masculinity is concerned. Being a strong man, this goes beyond race. This just masculinity and being a male in general is under attack. The thing that stuck out to me was what he said. Was he asked the question? He's like, "Who raised y'all?" He said, "How did you grow up to every time you lose or you miss a basket, you act like the world is over. You act like you moping back down the court. You're not giving no effort." And he just can't understand it. And I'm hearing that a lot from, like I say, the older generation to the not even skipping our generation. Like, what do they call them? I think they call it Gen Z, and the people after them. Like, yo, man, I'm talking about when you speak to these dudes, these young men, with any type of bass in your voice, they cower down or they get so emotional that they're ready to shoot you and kill you. Like, there's no in between, there's no balance. And it ties into society, man, with what we got going on. When I heard him speaking, it was just like I just heard a frustration, and the same frustration I hear from everybody, man. Just what is going on with the young men in America on all levels, where they cannot take any type of criticism. I was listening to Shannon Sharp and Ocho Cinco talk last night. And Shannon Sharp critiquing Ocho Cinco, he said he always critique and say, bro, you never critique these players. He said, all you do is praise them and give them praise and want to be on their frame. Like, bro, that's not how it works. That's not how men are built. You have to be told the truth about your effort, about what you're doing. I remember Coach Lewis to cuss me out on a regular basis about missing tackles and stuff like that, and just not running fast as I could and all types of stuff. And that stuck with me and made me want to go harder. But now you got gentle parenting, you got everybody want to whisper, you got everybody everything's PC culture. And like I say, man, hearing that just took me outside the realm of just sports and just the life in general. I'm talking about, bro, if you go to Chipotle, if you go to get some food, these kids don't want to give you no food. They actually measuring the food out. You know, we was younger, we working at fast food, but you pile the food on. They scared to even put food on your plate, then they get fired. They scared to take tips. You gotta make them take a tip. They like, oh man, I'm gonna get fired by giving them tips. Like, it's just a bunch of, I don't want to call them weird, man, but it's just emotional, man. It's just too overly emotional. And what Rip Kim was saying, it speaks to the culture, man. When I'm talking about, when I'm out in the streets and I'm seeing people talk to, I'm seeing coaches coach these young guys, they break down, they start crying, they can't take it. They say in the military, they hold up paddles and say, you're hurting my feelings in the military. Like, it's just weird all the way around, man. And I don't know if there's no coming back from, because the old generation is going out, and we are not the most militant when it comes to that, right? We are not the so many of us want to toe the line besides being cool and being friends and just being so happy go lucky, instead of sitting there saying like, hey yo, that's bullshit. This is trash. Like, no one wants to do that anymore. So I don't know, man. I feel Rip Pitino pain. I feel his pain a lot in that segment. I think everyone should go watch that and just check it out to see what we're talking about.
So you said you don't know if it's I forgot how you framed it. Like, you don't know if it'll work.
I don't know
to that degree.
I think it's needed, right? But I don't know if it'll work because we so far gone. A lot of these kids is, man, I don't want to put them. A lot of these kids is ringing single mother households. And you know the story of Willie Lynch and everything, how they sit there and say the mothers raise their sons to be docile and soft and want to just survive. And they raise I don't know if you read the book or not, but raise the young girls to be tough and not take no shit, stuff like that. And I mean, I'm just saying, I see it on all levels, man. I see it in my everyday life, dealing with young kids or being around, seeing how soft they are. And just, man, I asked a young man one time, I said, he was like 9 and 10. I said, what you want to be when you grow up? This motherfucker said nothing. I've never in my life heard a young male, when I asked him what you want to be when you grew up, he didn't have a response. He said, I don't want to be nothing. That shit just blew my mind, man. I almost choked him out right then saying that shit. You know what I'm saying? But single mom, you know what I'm saying? Or not, I don't want to say single mom, no male in his life. Put it like that. No male in his life. I want to put it on the moms. So
yeah. So when I watched it, it was like, all right, I don't know if they've ever seen that side before, commonly growing up, a male figure for the most part. And ironically, they won the game. They came out. I think they were down. They came out. They actually won the game. And I think it's just planting the seed that it's okay to fail, man. Like,
right.
I don't know if it's about like, hey, you're doing something wrong or critiquing you in a negative way, but just letting people know, like, it's okay to fail, man. Like, I've done it plenty of times. I fail every day. I bump my head, whatever it is, but it's okay. You're going to survive. You can keep moving forward, right? But with the social media, man, like, I think that's one of the biggest things. I mean, you talked about like single parent household, not having a man, like that's for sure important. But just social media, man, like when you get on there, you're always comparing yourself. You're always looking at, who's doing bad or who's being talked about or, whatever room they got on there or whatever platforms they got on there that's just breaking down people for everything, right? You got Kanye West, for example. Every time I go on the internet, people killing this man, right? So it's just criticism on criticism, right? LeBron James, criticism on criticism. It's like you talk about how I only talk about what he does good, but it's like everybody always talk about what he do bad, right? Or what he don't do. So it's like, imagine as a high school kid, the same concept, right? The Mikey Williams, the LaMelo Balls and the Ball brothers and all of that growing up in high school is just constant bombardment of criticism. So yeah, I think it can make people emotional and they can't handle that because they live in a world where it's just ever present. They're not necessarily tapped into just real life and being able to make adjustments and being able to get criticism from somebody they care and love and respect. And when it comes from people, other men, like who were you talking to? The little kid? You said the little boy who grew up and didn't want to do nothing.
Yeah, young man. I'm very close to. I mean, I want to put him
like
out.
Related to?
Not related to. I'm very close to. I could be. Might as well say I am. I'm very, very close to him.
Okay.
Legit.
So I'd be curious to know, like, does he look up to you and respect you? And I'm not asking you to tell me, but it's just something to think about. Like, do they look up and respect the people who are criticizing them or who are telling them X, Y, and Z, or do they know what to look up to as far as to be motivated? Because I
I would
think,
say to answer that question, I would say they probably he's so young, he probably don't even know what that is. Probably like for me to look up to me and understand what I'm supposed to be in his life. Um, but I would just say off the input from others, he probably look at me like this is kind of crazy. You know what I'm saying? It's from the input from his the outside circle. His most important or impactful person in his life will sit there and say, "Oh man, Markel crazy." So he looking at his junk like Markel, so and so say he crazy. So he crazy. You know what I'm saying? But he ain't there yet. He young. You know what I'm saying? Very young. So
yeah. So think about the approach. You were pretty much frustrated and mad that he didn't know what he wanted to do when he's older. And it's like, that's okay, right? Like, he doesn't need to know that. If he's not old enough to know who you are and to decipher if he can respect you or not and decipher other people, then it's okay that he doesn't know what he wants to do. But as
nah,
long as, oh, go ahead.
pause. That's not what he saying. I don't know is understandable different. When you say nothing, that's totally different. When you say I don't want to be nothing, that's not saying I don't know what I want to be. That's saying I don't want to be nothing. That's totally that them two different words. And I said, am I growing up? We was kids. You at least say a fireman, a policeman, but to say I don't want to be nothing. I almost crashed my damn car. I ain't cuss him out. I almost started crying. I was like, I know something's like, damn, bro, like this how real it is, though. This how real, and this how young it starts. When you were 10, 11, 12, and you raised inside, like you said, social media, you raised up all day when you not going outside no more. So when you 10, 11, 12, we go outside, we playing against 13, 14, we might get in fights with them. These kids they're not seeing that no more. They in the house with their mamas or whoever on the damn game system, or they in their phones or iPads, and that's it. They
Yeah.
not doing nothing else. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, social media is a motherfucker, it's a beast, but he ain't even dealing with social media. So I'm saying like I'm saying this shit with 5 and 6 year old. They just this gentle parenting shit. It's just weird, bro. It's just so. I feel what you're saying, but it's like it's even bigger than that because it's starting so young. You seeing like you got your son in martial arts. You know how many young men, young, like I said, single mama ain't putting on no damn martial arts. Oh, I don't want my baby to get hurt. Then this what the verbiage is.
You actually just made me think of something. So at martial arts, right? The lead sensei, when he's leading, so of course my son is 3, so he's in a toddler class. So most of them are like 5 to 4 years old. But I think there's this little girl, she's 3. And the other day, man, we be sitting in there. I'm like, man, he's so tough on them. I'm like, man, they 3 years old, but he don't play no games. Like, he treat them like they 20. You know what I'm saying? Like, the way he be talking to them, it'd be crazy to me. But the little girl, like, they got to do jumping jacks and they got to do this routine, and she wasn't participating, man. He kicked her out he kicked her out the gym, you know what I'm saying? At 3 years old. So I think it just brings it back to I'm on the same page with you as far as like, yes, you do need that. Not necessarily aggression, but like that hard stance of like what's acceptable, what's not acceptable, and learning that it's okay, right? Like, she can't not. It wasn't that she couldn't participate, right? It is that she wasn't participating, and he called her out on it, and he made her remove herself. So if she wanted to get in line and participate, she could come back. She can come back the next day, which again is what, going back to Rick Pitino, right? At halftime, what they displayed wasn't acceptable. It wasn't going to produce success. He called them out on it, but you can still do it to where hopefully they respect you. If they respect you, then they go out and after half, they actually play and produce. They lead with confidence. So even if you make mistakes, you still operate with success and move on to the next step. And I think that's the biggest opportunity as people, for real, like young men, young women, you're going to make mistakes, right? Like, no, everyone's not going to like you, right? Everyone is not going to care to see you succeed, but demand respect. And one of the best ways to demand respect is to make mistakes, show people that you have confidence and the courage to take on new tasks, and keep moving forward. And trust me, man, people going to respect you. People going to look up to you. I see this in my everyday life. Just keep moving forward, but you got to be able to take criticism. You got to be able to fall and make mistakes, but keep going. What you going to say?
Recall what he said, right? He said, I don't care if y'all make or miss the shots. He said, what's happening is y'all miss the shots and you lose yourself every time you miss a damn shot. He like, bro, we don't care about that. He said, get back on defense, go rebound, run. He ain't, if you, I don't care if you miss every damn shot. That is what it is, but the effort. And you put forth the effort, like you sit there and say, I mean, my daughter yesterday, I'm at the damn park with her trying to get her to climb up this damn jungle gym. It's a little kid younger than her. They going hand, they climbing, blah blah. They going up, and she just sitting there crying. And I'm trying my best for all these white folks not to go off. I'm like, hey, climb this, climb it. I'm showing like, hey, go here, do that, do this, boom, 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 boom. You see me? You wrote me on Instagram. I put my little niece. I'm like, man, jump down. You know what I'm saying? Like, what you doing? Like, what's wrong with y'all children? Jump, play, have fucking fun, man. They so man. I be finna pull my head out. I got two little girls, man, niece and a daughter. You know, I be going through it. If I had a boy, I'd be going ham, but a little girl, I'd just be giving up all the time. Like, man, I can't break up spirit. So I don't know.
They're gonna get it, man. They're gonna get it. But yeah, man, I think it's necessary, like you said. I do think it will produce results. I think it's all about respect and just letting them know that, hey, I respect you, but you got to move forward and you got to keep playing or you got to keep moving and you got to go flip that L into a W, right? So that's all it's really about. And if they can stack wins after losses, I think that'll breed confidence. If they can see men that they respect doing the things that they want to do or introducing them, right? Like I'm introducing my son to as many things as possible, Right. I let him fail as many times as possible,
right?
And just let him know I support him, but he got to put in the effort and that'll garner that respect. And then at some point he'll know what he wants to do or I'll mold him towards what he wants to do as I identify skill sets and things that he enjoys. And hopefully we can just get more fathers. We talked about on a previous episode, this generation has a lot of fathers in it. And we talk about how everything is a generational cycle. So hopefully in the next decade, right, we see our children stepping into a mold to where if this current generation kind of misses the mark, it is what it is. Hopefully they can catch up at some point. But I think we just got to keep moving forward and teaching people that it's okay to be critiqued. It's okay to be criticized, but take that L, turn it to a W and keep
we got to put fathers on blast, man. Give them the proper shots, man. The day I picked my daughter up from school, and I looked up and just like, damn, all I see is black men with their children walking them, taking them to the car. Yeah. And they all they look flustered as hell. And they were screaming and yelling and doing it, but we all doing it. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about ain't just black men, all fathers, man. In my neighborhood, that's in the Indian neighborhood pretty much. And every day when it's time for the kids to get home from school, it's nothing but a bunch of Indian men lined up picking their kids up. You know what I'm saying? Like fathers be doing their thing. It's just that's a whole community thing. I think it's everything got to come back together. It ain't it's bigger than
it's deeper than rap. Right it's now. A good topic though. That was a fun discussion there. Right. So let's wrap with this topic, man. And this kind of goes to it. So you got Anthony Edwards and a lot of people, right, who could be in position to change the game and elevate it, right? Because you talk about how like Kobe left the game and how Jordan left the game. But I think honestly it's because you had somebody willing to step into it. And that was LeBron James, right? You had somebody who had the skill set like them to be able to produce, but you had somebody who was willing to say, all right, I'll take on the face of the league and brand myself as that and hold it up. And now he's 40 years old and people are like, he's still the face of the league. And I think that's not fair because there is nobody who can take the mantle. So he's you said it the other day, they need him another 5-10 years. Right. And I think that's an indictment on these younger players, right? Who say they look up to the Kobe Bryants, who say they look up to the MJs.
Somebody said that too.
They're not stepping into the role to say, hey, I got this. Let me take this over and step into that limelight. Now they want all the rewards,
right?
right? The women, the money,
the babies,
the the cars, the clothes. the walkthroughs, they want everything that comes with it, but they don't necessarily want to step into the role. So
Yeah.
I believe you said you seen something with Anthony Edwards specifically saying he doesn't want to step
Yeah,
into
he was up there on the podium, man. And for some reason now he doing something where he wearing shades everywhere. You know what I'm saying? And it's kind of like he want to be. I don't want to say he want to be, but it's giving me the Marshawn Lynch vibes. But it's like when Marshawn Lynch was doing what he was doing, you didn't see him all over ads. NFL different, of course, but you didn't see him all over the ad. You didn't see him doing commercials. Marshawn Lynch was playing football at that time and going home. Anthony Edwards was just sitting here saying, yo, I don't want to be the face of the NBA, but at the same time, I'm doing these commercials. I'm in Sprite commercials. I'm pretty much making myself stand out whenever I show up. Because all of a sudden now I'm wearing glasses every damn where I go. And he said, hey, man, I'm not the face of the NBA. That's going to be Victor. It's going to be Wemby. And I don't really have a problem with that. You know what I'm saying? You saying you don't want to do that. You know what I'm saying? You don't want that pressure. You want to do your thing and be you. But it goes to your point you said, bro. Like you still doing everything that will put in a position for you to stand in that. I mean, that means you don't do the Sprite commercials. That means you don't do you don't do the Adidas commercials. That means you just play your game and you go home. But you're not doing that. And when you mentioned LeBron, it was just like I remember when LeBron came into the league. I remember Jay-Z and all them saying like they put their arms around him. They made sure that, bro, you finna be straight. We not finna let the outside world come in and knock you off, take you off because they needed him. They needed him because people forget when LeBron came into the league. I think it was 03, 04. That was the year Kobe went through the trial. So his public image was destroyed. They never wanted Iverson to be the face of the league, although he probably could have. And I can't think of nobody else who probably could have been the face of the league in that time. Shaq too big. It got to be somebody who people can relate to in a space and feel like I can be like this player. Anthony Edwards is probably the best person who young children can emulate in America right now. But like he's saying, he don't want to be it. I don't think it had nothing to do with his manhood or his character. Saying that, I'm just like, bro, you got to know what you're saying and know, the message you're giving off. And if you about that, if you really say you don't want to be the face of the NBA, then you got to stand on that 10 toes down wholeheartedly. You can't have 1 foot in, 1 foot out, but saying you don't want to be the face. That's all I'm saying. It's kind of like hypocritical. He young, give him space to grow and things like that. But excuse me, I don't know if it ties in like we said with the last statement. I don't think no one has to make them do that. It's just in a bad spot, like you said, because there's no one but LeBron to take this mantle. He is 40 years old. And, I don't know, bro. I don't know. The NBA looking bad right now. That's all I can say.
Yeah, I just think it comes down to how much money these guys are making, man. That and then social media again. Like
social media again, man.
I remember growing up, man, I used to be like, man, I wonder what such and such is doing right now. Like it gave that mystique, man. I love mystery, right? That's why I like to stay out the way. You got to think about what I got going on.
That's gone now. The mystery is gone now.
To a degree, right? Like you don't have to be on social media, right? You don't have to be seen, but a lot of people like the attention, right? So again, looking at Anthony Edwards from a outside looking in, if he didn't say, hey, I don't want to be the face of the league or I'm not such and such as the face, you fooling me, right? Because you everywhere, right? You getting compared to the Jordans or the best players. You on camera, you're definitely
doing shows. He's doing shows and everything. You guys all the show on Netflix, some shit that's seen on YouTube or something.
Right.
He got cameras following him around. So yeah, like
he has the charisma. He's on the starting 5 on LeBron James shows. Right. He has the commercials. He has the highlight dunks, the highlight plays. But yeah, I get it. He wants to, I think I heard him saying like he wants to be able to go hang out with his boys and stuff. It's like, yeah, don't play in the NBA, right? Like that's just what comes with it and just understanding what comes with the territory. So I think just the understanding of what comes with the territory, when you signing up for these deals, when you getting these max contracts, this is what comes with it. And it's just an opportunity that you have to embrace, right? Because it doesn't come to everybody. It doesn't come often. And it's something where you can actually create a narrative for yourself, like how LeBron James does, right? So he can create a narrative if he really takes it on and holds on to it and really embraces the opportunity. But yeah, man, I think it's sad when there's players that talented that's that marketable and that's everywhere that says, hey, I don't want to take on this responsibility. Because like, again, that message is being passed down to everybody else who looks up to him, like not taking on these opportunities that come to them that could be challenging, that could put you in a position to be critiqued, that could put you in a position to fail, right? If he
I
doesn't win a
think
championship,
I
etc.
think
But
these days it's a little bit different. I cut your wisdom, but I think these days also I give them a little more grace because when you take an opportunity, it's like you can't really be yourself. And when you like a real deal person, I think when I say that, I'm talking about Kyrie. What happened with Kyrie? Like Kyrie just posted a clip and he got killed for it. So Anthony Davis had to fall into that space where LeBron at, which is why LeBron gets so much criticism from people. Is like, bro, it's just so obvious that you just pretty much in the pocket of big business type stuff. You know what I'm saying? You go along with every narrative that's in America. You never have anything really controversial to say. It's like you're a real person. You know what I'm saying? So I can understand him in that space. It's just like you giving away, you sending out mixed messages when, like I say, in one breath, I don't have to do with his game. If his game is top of the line, is great. That's great. That don't have to do with him having to accept that role. It's like Charles Barkley said years ago, hey man, I'm not a role model. Charles Barkley said in the 90s, yo, I'm not a role model. He was on Charles Barkley was quoted saying to a reporter, like, he was like, hey, I'm a 90s nigga. Like, I ain't one of these old boys. I ain't one of these dudes gonna smile in your face. Charles Barkley, he was wild back in the day. Like, Charles Barkley you see now is not what he was back in the 90s. He was on the cover of the Source magazine with Spike Lee going ham. But the thing was, he was the same age as Jordan. Him and Jordan was best friends, so they can put them together and have them side by side and be like, make them nice little commercials. LeBron don't have that. LeBron don't have that counterpart. It's supposed to be Kevin Durant, but he is AD favorite player. KD say, I don't want it. I don't want to do that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not AD, Ant-Man way younger than LeBron James. So he might look at LeBron like on some brother type figure, big brother type figure, not as a peer. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, I don't, like I said, I don't knock him for not wanting to take that stand. It's just you sending out mixed messages when you take the deal at the same time. When you take corporate sponsorship, not talking about your shoe deal, that's different. When you're doing Sprite, like you said, you do starting five, you sending out mixed messages. I think as he grow older, maybe he'll learn that and understand like you got to be either in or you ain't, bro. One or the other.
yeah. No, I'm with you, man. I agree. I mean, I think he's talented. It'll be cool just to see somebody else step into that light. I guess Kevin Durant is a great example of somebody who I don't know what.
He just did. He just did. Remember, bro. Remember, he was in a movie. He was in Thunderstruck. Remember that movie he had, Thunderstruck, back in the day. He was on something else.
Kevin Durant.
Yeah, he was in a movie called Thunderstruck. He was smiling, cheesing with OKC jersey on with some little white kid in a straight DVD movie. I never saw it. I just seen it in Walmart all the time. This was probably pre-MVP or right when he was an MVP. And I think right after that, like I told you, he got caught with that weed falling out and everything went downhill for him. Like, bro, I don't want to do this. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to be what LeBron James is, but none of them the chosen one. LeBron James is the cash cow of the NBA. So he gonna have a sweet, clean image. They make it say nothing gonna leak about him, nothing gonna come out crazy, nothing's gonna come out about him because if back then, I probably would say back in like 2015 before Curry rose, if anything would have happened to his image, the NBA would have crumbled back then because it is a league of faces and stars, not like NFL, like I said last show. So, like I say, man, I wouldn't be surprised if LeBron is playing at 45, 50 years old, strictly off the strength that, hey, you got this lifetime contract with Nike, we paying you money. I don't even know if LeBron has ever took a max deal on some Tom Brady type shit. I don't know if LeBron even ever had a max deal like that, getting 80 and whatever the hell he was worth. You know what I'm saying? Could be wrong, but we gonna see.
He just takes it in 1 to 2 year deal, so it never turns into a max deal. But
yeah, it could be. Yeah, it could
long
be
story short, man, there's an opportunity for somebody to step in and become the face of the league and help carry it forward. maybe it'll be by, all hands on deck or whenever he leave LeBron James.
I'm telling you who it's looking like it's shaping up. If this guy pans out, it'd be great for the NBA. Cooper Flag. If he pans out, All-American white boy. If he come out and be some next Larry Bird type stuff, he would gladly take on that role and it would do wonders for the NBA because he looks like a great player. And surely he'll fit the narrative. You know what I'm saying? That'll bring all type of eyes and ratings like Caitlin Clark did. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, and I actually hope it. I actually want him to succeed and be good and be great. Somebody got to be good. Man.
Yeah, I haven't had a chance to go see him play up the street. I'll be looking at the NC or UNC Duke tickets, but it'd be $1,000 for the nosebleed. So
yeah, capitalism.
I'm good on that. But
capitalism working, man.
But yeah, man. Well, shout out to, at the end of the day, shout out to Anthony Edwards. Shout out to leadership. I think it's super important. We'll talk about that as we see the success of the Jaguars. Shout out to the Lakers. I don't know if they're winning right now, but I'm going to go check out their game and relax.
Shout out to the Lakers. Shout out to the Jaguars. You got to be kidding me.
Shout out to Black History Month, man. It came and it went. Yeah. Oh, let me ask you this before we wrap, man. Have your New Year's resolutions died off yet?
I don't do New Year's resolutions. So they never started. You know what I'm saying? You know me, I don't start New Year till April anyway, but I'm on my thing, man. I'm eating good. Tomorrow, Saturday, I start my seasonal detox. So it's nothing but fruit juices and fruits for the whole month of March. So I'm doing that. I'm in the gym. I'm doing strength training. I'm working out. I'm getting my mind right. You know what I'm saying? I ain't drinking and smoking and all that stuff. I'm not too much, at least. Not drinking much. Shout out to the Hot Boys, man. I went to the Hot Boys. I saw the Hot Boys. And the big time was on Friday, man. It was the best concert I've ever been to. It was so great.
Why is that?
Because I grew up on the Hot Boys. Like I told you before, that was my favorite group coming into hip hop as a young child. To see Birdman come out there, wasn't expecting to see the big timers came out. All the Hot Boys was there. It's funny seeing them old though, because people been sharing the clips of like Lil Wayne cutting off Birdman. And what it was Baby had gave that speech like 3 times. He just kept being sitting like he didn't want to cry. He kept saying, "I thank y'all so much for coming out." Blah blah blah. He did like 3 times. By the time Wayne came, like, bro, stop doing that. You stopping the show this so you could talk. You know what I'm saying? You could tell there was a little bit of friction up there with Birdman and Wayne, I guess for some monetary reasons. But it was great, man. It was good to see all of them rapping on hip hop. They wasn't really rapping behind the track. They was rapping on, with just behind the beat. And it was just great, man. It was a great concert, good energy. Everybody was vibing, everybody was turned up. Definitely looking forward to Kendrick even more and more. Kendrick and SZA and me,
That's what's up, man. Glad you had fun. I seen some clips. It looked cool. It was funny seeing them. Like I was seeing Manny Fresh, and it's like, man, he old sitting there rapping.
Them dudes almost 60, man.
Them same lyrics.
Those tickets was more than the Kendrick the Kendrick tickets, bro. That's crazy to me.
How much?
The tickets for the Hot Boys was more than Kendrick. I paid like $300, I think, for the Hot Boys, and I think Kendrick was like $250 or something.
Well, at least you got your money's worth.
Hey, man, yeah, I got my money worth, man. It was a good show, bro. It was a good show. I enjoyed the hell out of myself.
Cool, man. Well, thank y'all for checking in with us. I'm gonna hit you up offline on that March juice thing you got going on. But peace and love to everybody. Keep tuning in. Hit the like button, subscribe, leave us a comment.
Comment, man.
And we'll keep going from here. So
y'all
be easy. We'll see y'all next week.
Sure.